Alrighty team, the timer is back, so you know what we are doing. We are going to be recreating this weekly layout in different amounts of time. Now, as you can see, this is a weekly layout that is not necessarily a style that I would typically use, but it is absolutely gorgeous. We've got a space for each day of the week with the weekend shared. We've got some spaces with decoration in a style that I am not super familiar with. This layout in particular comes from Temi of Living Letter Plans. She does absolutely gorgeous work. You should totally check her out, and there's a link to her Instagram in the description box below. Having another look at that layout though, you can see that we have different sized boxes. We have some highlights for those days of the week. We've also got the floral decorations in a couple of different styles. And while I am going to try and recreate this as true as I can, we are also doing this with a time crunch. So while I know that Temi used acrylographs in hers, I am just going to be using markers. I say just, I might use a couple of other supplies, but you can see we've got some Tombos, we've got some calligraphs, might throw in a gel pen, also need something to do some outlining, so we're going to need a fine liner. But in terms of timing, we're going to start with doing a 1 hour recreation, using a full hour to try and recreate it as true to form as we can. We're then going to go with a 15-minute version, a 5-minute version, and a 1-minute version. There is absolutely no way that that is going to look good, but we are going to do it anyway. As you can see, I'm starting on a page that doesn't have any sketching in, so sketching in is also included in that time. And I'm super nervous to get started, but I will pick up my pencil, and we are getting started on our 1 hour recreation in 3, 2, 1, oh god. Go! One of the things that notably made this version of the setup a little bit more time consuming was the penciling in. That's not to say that I do not endorse penciling in. It means that you're way less likely to make mistakes and put things in the wrong place, and you can actually then see if things are sitting in the right places to make a layout that actually works for you. It does effectively mean though I'm drawing everything out twice, but it also makes it neater, so I was totally fine with it. For our 1 hour version of the layout, there is plenty of time for me to actually do this, but in future iterations of doing the layout, where we have less and less time, the pencil will be going away. Another part of the layout that's a little bit more time costly is the use of the craft paper, especially because the craft paper boxes aren't just perfect boxes, because some of the boxes on the layout, well, most of them, have those little upturned corners or upturned edges. You actually have to shape the craft paper box so that it has the upturned section. It probably would have been a little bit easier to actually draw the outline of the box on the craft paper before I cut it out, because trying to do the tight line of the black outline that I'm doing here was very difficult once it was stuck down onto the paper. I effectively wanted to have it exactly on the edge of the box, which meant my pen kind of kept slipping a little bit, but I still think I did a pretty good job. I knew when I looked at the layout that this was going to be difficult to do even in an hour, and all of these fine little details, like, Temi has done an amazing job. They really add to the overall kind of aesthetic of the layout, but oh my gosh, on a regular week, I personally could not be bothered. Don't get me wrong, absolutely gorgeous, absolutely love it, but this is not something that I would usually do for myself on a weekly basis. Now as we've exhausted almost 20 minutes just doing boxes, it's time to look at some decoration. I of course went in with pencil first to make sure that things were mostly in the right place. I didn't necessarily do a perfect job of this either, but it's fine. The main decorative elements we're kind of working with are the different styles of the florals / botanicals. So we've got some pink flowers, we've got some blue leaves, we've got some brown leaves, we've got some kind of like gum nut looking brown small shape things, some sticks with berries on them. We've got good variation. But we've also then got things like the envelopes and the parcels, and of course the header for the page. I was originally going to do a true recreation and just have it say February, but because we're getting into May, I thought I'd put May in there instead, which means I did have to kind of fudge the decoration around my new header, rather than do a perfect recreation. Not to say that this was going to be a perfect recreation anyway, because Temi is obviously a lot more familiar and thus skilled with the style of decoration that she does on her layouts. Although I could build up some pretty good gradients on the decoration using the tombos, just by going over sections multiple times with the same marker, or using a darker version of the same colour, so like 2 different tones of green, one being a lighter, one being a darker. I know that Temmie in her original has used acrylographs, and I think that the contrast that you get when you actually use the paint pen over the top is really beautiful. The nice part about the acrylographs as well is that because they are paint markers, they layer over the top of one another quite well, and because the nibs are a little bit less flexible, it means that you're a little bit more controlled in your line work. I know that some of my marker done florals got a little bit messy. I do know in her original design as well, she didn't darken the stems of whatever she was working on, she just darkened the base of the leaves. But when I did that with the marker, it looked a little bit strange to me, so I decided to darken the stem as well. Personal choice, I still think it looks pretty okay, you know, for a recreation. We only have a little under 20 minutes at this point, and there is still plenty to get done. My idea of success with these kind of recreation challenges is to get as many of the same elements on the page as I can. So for instance, we've got the boxes, we've got those little extra lines on the inside as details. We have our florals with the gradient work, we've got the envelopes with the little details on those too. When it comes to the decorative work, one of the things that I'm particularly not so familiar with is just going in with the colouring first, rather than putting in outlines and then working within those outlines. For that reason, I think some of my green botanicals in particular got a little bit larger than I had initially anticipated. By that I mean like the stem got a little bit wider, maybe the leaves didn't quite have the right shape, but I do like the way that not including the outline kind of changes the decoration. If I were to do this decoration myself in my own journal, I probably still would put in the outlines just because I like the contrast between the dark black and the bright colours. But having a go at it gave me more of an appreciation for this style. For the last 8 or so minutes of setting up the layout, I wasn't really too sure what else to put in. It was kind of just very much final detail kind of work, and looking around the page and seeing if there was really anything that I could add in the amount of time I had left. Things like darkening up gradients, neatening up any of my lettering, eventually putting in the numbers for the calendar days too. It was one of those instances where you don't necessarily know how long something's going to take until you actually do it, because towards the start of the hour, I was worried that I was absolutely not going to have enough time, whereas towards the end of the hour, I was very much thinking, oop, there were probably a couple of things I could have taken my time on a bit more and made them a bit neater. 3, 2, 1, and stop. Excellent. Alrighty, well, I think I did a better job than I was initially anticipating. I didn't do super great with the spacing on this part in particular, because as you can see, we kind of have like a 1 centimeter border around the whole spread. So this blue one should really be tucked in a little bit, and thus this guy should be a little bit squished, smaller kind of a thing. I think I'm technically supposed to have a little blue leaf in here, but it was kind of hard to see on the picture, so I did miss it. But I think we have all of our elements. So we've got our 2 craft paper boxes, we have our other boxes for the other days of the week, we've got our decorative sections, and all of the decoration is pretty much the same as we had in the picture. I mean, like my attempt at doing it, because Temmie is obviously a lot more practiced at this than I am, so this is not necessarily as good as hers, but I tried. Something that I found kind of tricky was getting the spacing of the florals kind of just right, because obviously I think she's not trying to recreate something, she's doing it, you know, herself. So she probably goes in and like puts in her header first and then does her decorative pieces around that to try and fit onto the page or into the section that she's given it. So technically speaking, my decoration should actually finish here and should be here. So everything outside of that box shouldn't actually technically be there. I did fit majority of it in quite well though. I think I did a pretty okay job. I have absolutely no idea how we are going to do this in less time, but we will try. Let's go and get on to our 15-minute version of that layout. So setting up our timer, we want 15 minutes. Oh my god, I'm already so nervous about it because, you know, we just saw how long this took me, and sure, I had a little bit of time at the end to kind of like, you know, go over, do some minor touch-ups and stuff. Alrighty. No pencil this time, just going in with pen and starting in 3, okay, 2, and 1. Oh god. No. I'm already stressed. I don't know where I'm starting. Though, as we can see, I am again starting with the boxes. I figured it was easiest to put them in first because you do the decoration around the outside of those. On the 15-minute one, I still went in with the craft paper. I was just a little bit less careful about how I was cutting this out of my craft paper piece. If I had some more time, I probably would have tried to plan it a little better so I didn't waste any of the craft paper, or at least wasted the smallest amount possible. But because I'm in a hurry, I don't have time to consider those kind of things. In terms of the detail work on the boxes, we didn't include those smaller detail lines on the inside edge, but we do have the upturned corners and edges. To get the boxes in with their titles took about 7 minutes, and then we're on to the decorative elements. Okay, 8 minutes for the entire lot of decoration. Okay, where do we have things? We've got a letter here, which looks pretty cute. And it has a stamp, and the stamp is also cute. There we go, looks cute. And we're just going to go and do all of the green leaves first, because I think that might be easier. Okay. One of the ways you can speed yourself up when you're trying to do a layout is doing all of the elements with one material at the same time. Then you don't have to spend time switching between different pieces of equipment. I'm trying to keep it in the lines like we talked about, which I've already gone like way over, but it's fine. I find that when I'm trying to work faster, I'm usually a little bit more rough on my supplies, which certainly was a concern while doing these layouts. I need to try and do this in a way that doesn't end up hurting my tombos though, because I still want to use the pens after the layout's made, you know? As said before, my metric of success for these recreations is getting as many of the elements onto the page that were in the original, which at the moment we don't have that many. I don't know if I'm going to get on enough time to do the blue stuff. We need to add at least some blue stuff, otherwise it's just completely not a thing, right? I think the part that gets me is like the indecision part. I'm like, oh god, what should I do next? It's like, just do something! We don't have enough time for you to faff about with this. I didn't do these kind of leaves for blue last time. I actually did like paddles, didn't I? So please excuse the scratchy sound of my pen. We need the other pink flower down here too, otherwise that's a lie. Where's my pen? Where's my pen? It doesn't help that my pens like run away from me. Having done the 1 hour layout before doing this 15-minute version, I did feel a little bit more confident with going in and putting in the decoration in a faster manner, just because I was a little bit more familiar with the shapes, which does go to show that practice does indeed make progress, even if it was only a little bit of practice. I don't think we're going to have any time to do any kind of highlighting, but while I didn't get around to the highlighting, I did at least get to put some of the darkened sections in. I thought that at least the blue in particular needed some kind of a gradient, otherwise it just looked completely unfinished. We do need to put in some drop shadows though, that feels important. Where's my pen though? Okay, can't find it. And the drop shadows are weirdly on a side that, I say weirdly, it's not weird, it's just not a side that I usually do drop shadows on. Shadows. Not the side I usually do my drop shadows on, so I'm a little unfamiliar with it. Unlike the more peaceful, slow-paced finish on the 1 hour layout, the 15-minute setup finished in a bit more of a panic. That looks cute. Oh god, this looks awful. Something else. Just put some more berries in. It's fine. Nope, that's the wrong pen. Okay, see? They are attached, and thus they are part of the plant, and thus it's part of the design. Oh my gosh. No. No. I mean, okay, let's have a look. So, do we have all of the boxes for the days of the week? Yes. We have all the boxes in the same place, in the same size. We've got the highlights for each of the days of the week. We made that happen. We have the drop shadow. It's a little messy, but we have it. And we have the decorative elements, right? So like, we've got the blue things. We've got the flowers. We've got the little berry tree bits. And we've got the tan leaves and the envelopes. So I like to think that we have everything on here. Like, all of the elements are present. We have the little curl-ups. We just don't have the finer detail work, right? We don't have the little kind of extra line around each of the days of the week boxes, and we don't have necessarily all of the kind of shading in the Oh my gosh, this was supposed to come down like way further. We don't have all of the shading in our floral bits. It was 15 minutes and I managed to achieve this. I'm not feeling too bad about it. Like, if you simplified the decoration a little bit, took your time a little bit with putting it in, then I think that this could look quite pretty in that amount of time. Like, if you just made it a little simpler. We're not going for simple though. We're going for a recreation. So 1 hour, 15 minutes. And now we're gonna try and see what we can accomplish in 5. Now I think that I'm gonna have to sacrifice the craft paper boxes to be able to do this one, because there's no way that in 5 minutes I can cut that out and get the other elements on. So it's like really like, what can I sacrifice to get this to work? The boxes are such an unfamiliar size. This is such a difficult layout to do, but we're gonna try, because that is the aim of the game. And like, you know, then you can be proud of yourself because you tried and stuff. Pick a pen that is gonna be able to withstand the brute force that I am about to put on it. We're going in 3, 2, 1. Okay, no, go up. Start! Although I wasn't doing the craft paper boxes on this one because they would just take way too much time, I did still want to have those little upturned corners or edges, but certainly did not attempt to put any of the decorative line work inside of the boxes. We need to hurry up because we don't have any decoration on here. The boxes having irregular sizings and placements certainly made this a little bit trickier. I think this layout would be a little bit simpler if they were, you know, equal sizes and in regular places, but it's fine. Oh my god, there's only 3 minutes left! No, I need a title. Ah! We need some plants, and maybe some more plants, and some plants over here, and there's a plant over here maybe. I don't think there's actually a plant there. I don't even have time to look at the picture. And then we need some pink, and why is the flower so small compared to the leaves? I know that there's no plants that go upside down like this, but this is good. We're going okay. We're getting our elements onto the page, and that is what matters. My poor Tombo. He'll be fine. I need a letter. That's where the letter goes. Shit. Okay, there's a letter. That looks like a letter, and there's another letter, and I've switched them sides, and this is the wrong color, but it's fine. And there's a package here, and it has some string. I need some string. Goodbye to the pen that I was using. And then this has like envelopey bits, and it looks kind of like that, and this has a stamp, and there's an envelope here, and this is the worst envelope because it has like another letter in it, and the letter sits in here like that. See, but we got it on the page, it counts. And then we also need some beautiful decoration up the top there that is blue. We need blue decoration, which means we need a blue pen. Is this the blue? Are you the blue? Yes. And the blue is like this. And we also need to have maybe some blue here, even though I don't think it's there in the original picture, but it's cute and it's fine. And there's also some blue here. And there's also some blue. There was supposed to be here-ish, but it's now in the wrong place. But it's fine. I know that I say it's fine. It's not like I'm actually being judged here, right? It's not like anybody's judging me. We need some berries, because berries are part of the aesthetic. And this is with this flower. I needed to plant this better because it is so in the way. Oh god. Okay, 50 seconds left. That's cool. We've got some berries. We've got some berries. Got some berries. We need the dark green because that is the stem of the berries. And you can just go over here. What else is there? We need the nuts, don't we? Otherwise it's not a complete rendition, and we don't have the drop shadow, and we don't have the days of the week. Oh my god, how did I forget the days of the week? Okay, this is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, weekend. I don't know if I'm gonna get to the drop shadow. No, I need the drop shadow. drop shadow. No! No! Oh dear. Well, okay, no. We got half the drop shadows in, so I think we did okay. And I've got, okay, yeah, we've got the boxes. Sure, we've got 2 of them that aren't in craft paper, but that's fine. We have the pink flowers in the wrong places, but we've got them. I mean, this guy is in kind of the right place, and that one is in the right place. And then this one just popped out of nowhere. No, he just fell down. He's just supposed to be the other way around. And we've got these 2 letters. They just switched sides, a little cheeky like. And we've got the parcel, not that it has its little, like, you know, we got it. So really the things that are missing are literally any of the details, literally any of the neatness, and the nuts, and the kind of tan coloured leaves. Well, I guess, are they leaves? Yeah. The tan coloured leaves were missing, and the nuts were missing, and the highlight, and the days of the week, and literally any of the detail. But I think we did okay. I think it's alright. But like, if we were to grade it, I think I got a solid C-. There is remnants of what a layout is supposed to be in here. Now we need to try and do it in 1 minute. It's gonna go so badly. But we will try it. We're gonna get it done. We set our timer for 1 minute. Oh no! I'm so worried. I'm gonna need a pen that can really withstand some brute force. I'm gonna use an old Papermate flare, and that's a little bit blunted, so he can deal with what we're about to do. As many elements as we can get in 1 minute. In 3, 2, no, 1, go. Okay, we got May, and we're gonna have a box at the bottom, and we've got a box on the side here with a little turn, because, you know, it's a thing, and we've got a box here and some decorative bits, so we're gonna need an envelope with a letter and some flowers, and we're gonna need another box up here, and it comes down a little further, I know that. See, this is why I didn't use this pen, because I knew it was a piece of shit. And we're gonna have a letter here, we'll have a letter here, and we're gonna have a package, and it's gonna have a bow, and we're gonna have a Friday box. God, you need to come further over. And a weekend box, which should come further down. And we're gonna need some leaves, and we're gonna need some color. Get out of here. Okay, we're gonna need some leaves, and we're gonna need some leaves over here, and leaves over there, and a leaf over here. And we need some flowers. We need some flowers. Oh God, that's not where the flower's supposed to go. Flower goes here, and the flower's supposed to be over the other side, but it's fine. We need some blue. We need some blue, and the blue here, and we need some blue there, and maybe some little 2 blues here. No! I had so much left to do! This is not the business. But no. No! Don't look at it. It's terrible. But taking a proper look at it, we have each of the boxes, and one of them has a little corner tick, so that's a win. We have the header. We have some flowers. We have the package. I've got the package. And we've got some blue. So we just missed the majority of the layout. So having a look at what we've accomplished today, you can do this layout in an hour and do a fairly decent job of it. You could also probably do it in 15 minutes, and things get a little bit more abstract, but you could still get all the elements there and it could still look fairly nice. I think it would be a stretch to say that you can do this in 5 minutes. It certainly leaves a bit to be desired. And just, like, don't attempt it in 1 minute because it looks stupid. Hopefully you enjoyed today's video, team. If you like these kind of time trial type videos, let me know by giving this video a thumbs up, and also check out the playlist that we have on screen here for my previous ones. Click or tap on that one and I will see you over there.